A fundamental principle of Stoicism is that our words are the outward expression of our inner state. They are a window into our reason or our lack of it. And when it comes to attraction, a woman isn't just listening to the content of your speech. She is feeling the character of the man behind the words. She is sensing the strength or the weakness of your internal world. The words you believe will bring her closer. The words you offer in moments of supposed honesty or vulnerability can be the very ones that betray a crack in your foundation and push her away for good. If you have ever said something from the heart, only to watch her energy suddenly shift, her eyes cool, or her interest evaporate into thin air, then you have experienced this principle firsthand. You have witnessed a real, time assessment of your internal state. This guide will challenge you, because we are identifying the emotional landmines you may be stepping on in your conversations. But these are not just random verbal mistakes. They are verbal symptoms of a deeper, internal disorder. They are phrases born not of strength, but of passion, of neediness, of insecurity, and of a lack of self-sovereignty. Let us be clear. A woman does not lose respect because you are too honest. She loses respect when your honesty is merely a confession of your own inner chaos, when your words reveal that you are not the calm, grounded center of your own life. In this guide, we will dissect the specific phrases that betray this inner weakness. But more importantly, we will uncover the flawed mindsets that produce them. This is not about learning to be fake or to hide your truth. It is about doing the difficult, internal work to forge a character so strong that your words naturally become a source of attraction, not a cause for its demise. It is about learning to speak, not from a place of need, but from a place of value. Principle 1. I'm nothing without you. The neediness trap. Let us begin with the most common, and perhaps the most destructive, phrase a man can utter. He says to a woman, "You're my everything. You're my whole world." Or the fatal phrase itself, "I'm nothing without you." He believes he is speaking the language of romance. He thinks he is showing the depth of his love and loyalty. But from a Stoic perspective, he is confessing a profound philosophical failure. He is not building attraction, he is actively draining it. When a man tells a woman, directly or indirectly, that his entire emotional well-being depends on her, what he is truly saying is this: my inner citadel is empty. I have no king, no laws, no army of my own. I need you to occupy my soul and rule it for me, because I am incapable of ruling it myself. This is not an invitation to love. It is a demand for emotional labor. And once that message is received, she no longer sees you as a man she can look up to. She no longer feels the pull of your independent, masculine energy. She starts to feel the immense pressure of having to emotionally carry you. And trust me, no woman wants to be your emotional babysitter. She is not seeking a project to fix. She is seeking a fortress to admire and feel safe beside. Imagine you have just started dating a woman. Things are going well. Then, after only a few weeks, you look her in the eye and say, "I don't know what I'd do without you." She may smile politely, but deep down, a switch has been flipped. She suddenly realizes she has too much control, too much power that you have so willingly surrendered. Women are drawn to strength. They are drawn to a man who knows his worth, with or without her. A man who had a full, compelling life before he met her, and will continue to have one long after she is gone, should that day ever come. This is the difference between love and dependency. Love is the choice of two sovereign kingdoms to form an alliance. Dependency is the desperate plea of a failed state asking to be annexed. You are allowed to have deep feelings. You are allowed to care for her profoundly. But the moment you communicate that your entire sense of self, your very identity, will crumble in her absence, you cease to be the man she was drawn to in the first place. The confidence she admired is revealed to be a facade. The edge that intrigued her is gone, and in its place is a man clinging to her for his very survival. If you want to keep a woman attracted, do not make her your oxygen. Let her admire the strength of the fire you have built within yourself, a fire of purpose, of calm, of principle. That is when she looks at you with admiration. That is when she leans in closer, not because you need her to, but because she chooses to. Principle 2. Please tell me what to do. The leadership mistake. This next phrase is more subtle, but it is an equally potent attraction killer. It is the constant habit of asking a woman to decide everything for you. Where should we go? What should we eat? What do you want to do next in our relationship? You may think this is polite. You may believe you are showing respect for her opinion, or that you're being a thoughtful, modern man. But from her perspective, it often feels like you are asking her to lead you. And that is a fundamental reversal of the polarity that creates and sustains attraction. A woman absolutely wants a man who listens to her, who considers her. But listening is not the same as depending on her for every single decision. When you constantly ask her to take the wheel, you are placing the burden of leadership on her shoulders. While she may tolerate it for a while, it eventually chips away at her respect for you. Why? Because on a deep, primal level, women are drawn to a man who moves with a sense of direction. A man who has a plan. A man who is not afraid to say, with calm confidence, "I've got this handled," or "let's go here tonight." This is not about being a dictator. It is not about ignoring her desires. It is about being decisive. It is about being the one who can create order out of chaos, even the minor chaos of deciding on a dinner plan. When a woman repeatedly hears a man say, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" it sends a loud, clear message. I do not trust myself to lead. I am uncomfortable making decisions. I am not the captain of my own ship. Over time, this erodes her feeling of safety and her admiration for you. Respect is the bedrock of attraction. Once that cracks, everything else begins to crumble. She may not even be able to articulate why she is pulling away, but this is often at the very core of it. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to always make the right choice, but you do need to have a spine. Take initiative. Say, "Here's the plan," even if it's a simple one. "I was thinking we could try that new Italian spot tonight at 8. How does that sound?" Notice the difference. You have made a decision. You have provided a direction. And you have still invited her input. That is what healthy, masculine leadership looks like. It is not about forcing her to follow. It is about creating a path so compelling and clear that she wants to walk it with you. Stop asking her to be your guide. Be the guide. That is the energy she is wired to respond to. Principle 3. I've never felt this way before. A too much, too soon this phrase, so often glorified in romantic movies, is a treacherous one in the real world, especially in the early stages of a connection. Telling a woman, "I've never felt this way before," too early does not build a foundation of attraction. It floods it and washes it away. Why? Because it signals a profound lack of emotional temperance and wisdom. It is an uncontrolled emotional overinvestment before she has done anything to earn it. It tells her that you are not operating from a grounded, centered place, but from a place of emotional reactivity or even desperation. And a woman's intuition for this energy is razor sharp. She will feel that you have already placed her on a pedestal, even though she has not yet demonstrated the character worthy of such an honor. And this creates an immediate imbalance. Here is what most men fail to grasp. A woman wants to feel special, yes, but she wants to earn that feeling. She wants to know that she has won the admiration of a discerning man with high standards. Not that she has simply been awarded a prize for existing, because she's pretty or gave you a bit of attention. When a man rushes in with grand declarations of unique feeling, it often triggers skepticism, not romance. She may wonder, why is he giving away so much, so fast? Is he this way with everyone? It creates a vibe that you are trying to lock her down with the force of your emotion, likely because you fear you might lose her. That fear is deeply unattractive. Attraction grows in the soil of tension, mystery, and earned connection. It cannot be forced into existence with premature declarations. A woman is drawn to a man who is emotionally solid, not one who gets swept away by the first strong feeling. Let's be honest. Saying this kind of thing early on is usually more about you than it is about her. Perhaps you are genuinely excited. Perhaps it has been a long time since you felt a connection. But a Stoic man understands that his feelings are just impressions, fantasia. They must be examined by reason before they are acted upon or declared as truth. A high-value man knows how to enjoy the moment without turning it into a lifelong fairy tale. He lets things unfold naturally. He is not rushing to define his feelings because he understands that real, lasting emotion takes time, consistency, and shared experience to build. He is patient. He is grounded. He is an observer of reality, not a slave to his immediate emotional reactions. So the next time you feel that powerful urge to declare your unprecedented feelings, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is this a true assessment of a deep connection, or am I just reacting emotionally to something new and exciting? Hold back. Let her be curious. Let her wonder how you truly feel. Keep a bit of mystery alive. That is how you maintain the tension that keeps attraction growing. Principle 4. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. It is a part of the human condition to feel lost at times. Every man at some point faces uncertainty about his path. There is no shame in this. The fatal error, however, is in how you communicate this uncertainty to a woman, especially early in a relationship. When you say the words, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, you are not just sharing a feeling of vulnerability. You are sending a powerful signal that you are ungrounded. And the hard truth is that a woman cannot feel safe with, or attracted to, a man who seems lost and adrift in his own life. This is not about pretending you have everything figured out. That is the path of the insecure braggart. This is about how you carry yourself within the uncertainty. When you speak as if you are floating aimlessly, with no direction, no purpose, and no plan, it chips away at your masculine edge. Women are not drawn to perfection. They are drawn to direction. They are drawn to a man on a mission, even if that mission is still in its early, difficult stages. Consider the vast difference between these two statements. The first man says, with a sigh of despair, honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing with my life. The second man says, with a calm resolve, I'm in a period of transition right now. I'm exploring a few different paths, and I'm focused on figuring out the next right move. Both men are in the exact same situation, but the first man communicates purposeless chaos. The second man communicates purpose within the chaos. He is the captain of his ship, even in a storm. He is still in charge. The first man has abandoned the helm. A woman's attraction is deeply tied to how grounded you are. Your ambition, your emotional composure, your sense of self, these create the gravitational pull. The moment she feels she is more emotionally stable than you, more clear-headed than you, or has to guide you through your own confusion, the polarity reverses. She is forced into a leadership role she does not want, and her admiration for you begins to die. You do not need to fake success, but you must not overshare your internal chaos. Do not dump your confusion into her lap and expect her to still see you as a man she can trust and look up to. The truth is, you can be unsure about your path and still come across as powerful if you carry that uncertainty with strength. Own it. Speak less about your confusion and more about your actions. Move forward quietly and with deliberation. She will respect your quiet, determined struggle far more than a long, emotional monologue about how lost you feel. Never forget. Your direction matters more than your current location. Principle 5. You're out of my league. Let us be perfectly clear. Telling a woman she is out of your league is one of the fastest and most certain ways to kill attraction. It may sound like an innocent, even flattering, compliment. But what she actually hears is a loud and clear confession. I see myself as fundamentally less valuable than you. The moment a woman hears this, the game is over. The dynamic shifts irrevocably. The attraction she may have felt begins to evaporate. A man who sees himself as less than a woman does not just flatter her ego. He fatally lowers his own value in the process. And whether she realizes it consciously or not, it changes the way she perceives you forever. She suddenly feels like she is on a date with a fan, not a potential partner. Women are not attracted to men who place them on pedestals. They are attracted to men who stand on equal ground, who see them eye to eye, and who bring their own undeniable value to the table. From a Stoic perspective, this phrase is a profound error in judgment. A Stoic judges worth based on internal character and virtue, not on external attributes like conventional beauty or social status. These things are indifference. By telling her she is out of your league, you are signaling that you judge both yourself and her by these shallow, external metrics. You are admitting that you have already lost a game that a truly confident man would never have played in the first place. Imagine the scene. A man is across from a beautiful, confident woman. Instead of owning his presence and enjoying the moment, he blurts out, "You're way out of my league. I don't even know why you're talking to me." She might laugh politely. But internally, a switch has been flipped off. Confidence is not about being cocky. It is about knowing your own worth without needing anyone else to validate it. When you say a phrase like that, you are handing over the entire power dynamic. You are telling her, "I need your approval to feel worthy." And no woman stays attracted to a man who is constantly seeking her approval. Even if she is a supermodel, a CEO, or a genius, you do not need to say anything that positions you beneath her. You can admire her. You can respect her achievements. You can compliment her. But you must never do it in a way that shrinks you. A man of value doesn't need to convince a woman he is worthy of her. He simply knows that he is. That is the silent energy that separates the charming from the forgettable. Principle 6: Oversharing emotional wounds too early. There is a vast and crucial difference between being emotionally open and being emotionally messy. Too many men, in a misguided attempt to create instant intimacy, confuse the two. And it is a mistake that kills attraction with surgical precision. One of the fastest ways to make a woman recoil is to unload all of your emotional baggage and past traumas onto her before any real trust or connection has been built. Why? Because it instantly flips the dynamic. Instead of being the grounded, masculine presence she can lean into, you become the emotionally fragile man who is looking to her for healing and comfort. Listen carefully. It is not that you should never talk about your past, your pain, or the struggles you have endured. But timing, tone, and context are everything. If you bring all of that to the table too soon, sharing deep wounds about your past, or how badly your ex hurt you, you do not build intimacy. You build emotional weight. And she did not sign up to carry that for you. In the early stages, she is assessing your strength, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. She wants to feel that she can rely on you, that you are solid. But when a man leads with unprocessed vulnerability, meaning you are still actively bleeding from the wound, it triggers an instinctive withdrawal in her. Not because she is cruel, but because she does not trust it. A woman is drawn to a man who has already done his inner work, not one who is hoping she will be his therapist. This distinction is one of the most difficult for men to navigate. I'm interested to hear from the men in this community. In the comments, share a piece of wisdom you've learned about the right way to be vulnerable without giving away your power. Your experience could guide another man through this. If you are opening up just to get comfort or validation, that is not emotional maturity. That is emotional dumping. So, here is the Stoic rule of thumb. Only share a wound once it has become a scar. If it is still bleeding, it is too early to share with a new partner. The work of healing that wound is yours and yours alone. You want to share your story from a place of strength, not need. The narrative should be, "Here is what I went through. Here is the virtue I learned from it. And here is the stronger man I am today because of it." That is powerful. That is grounded. That builds respect and trust, which are the true foundations of deep connection. Do not use your vulnerability as a tactic to gain sympathy. Use it as a testament to your resilience. Principle 7. I can't live without you. And here we arrive at the final, and perhaps most revealing, confession of a man who does not understand the nature of attraction. He tells a woman, "I can't live without you." He thinks he is delivering the ultimate romantic line. But the harsh truth is, this phrase does not sound romantic. It sounds weak. It sounds like a threat. And worst of all, it sounds like an obsession born of emptiness, not a love born of fullness. Women are drawn to strength, emotional strength, masculine, calm, grounded energy. When a man says he can't live without her, what she hears is, "I do not have a life of my own. My happiness is entirely your responsibility. My very survival is contingent upon your presence." This does not pull her closer, it makes her want to run. Think about it. Being a man's entire world might feel flattering for a moment, but it quickly becomes a crushing weight. She starts to feel responsible for his emotional state. Every disagreement becomes a potential catastrophe for him. Every need she has for space becomes a crisis. Slowly, she loses all respect for the man she once liked, because no woman wants to carry that kind of emotional burden. She does not want to be your savior. She does not want to be your therapist. And she definitely does not want to feel like she is the only thing holding you together. A man who truly attracts a woman does not make her feel like she is his oxygen. He makes her feel like a welcome and powerful addition to his already fulfilling life. A life that would be less bright without her, yes, but a life that would continue, grounded in purpose should she ever choose to leave. He is whole on his own. That is the kind of man women miss. That is the kind of man they chase. The man who enjoys her presence, but does not need it for his survival. The man who can say, with all sincerity, "I want you in my life," but whose very being communicates, "But I will still be solid without you." This isn't about being a cold robot. It is about the Stoic ideal of self-sufficiency. You can love her, appreciate her, desire her, but you must never depend on her to complete you. When a man builds a life he is proud of, filled with purpose, goals, and passions, he stops looking to a woman to fill the emotional gaps within him. And that is the exact moment women start to feel pulled into his world, not pushed away by his neediness. Never let a woman feel like you can't survive without her. Because when you say that, you are telling her you have already lost yourself. Let's be honest. Most men lose attraction not because of a fatal flaw in their character, but because they simply talk themselves out of the game. Your words matter, because they are the audible evidence of your internal state. What you say tells her, and the world, everything about how you see yourself, and whether you are a man to be respected, or one to be dismissed. The hard truth is that attraction cannot be negotiated, begged for, or earned through sympathy. It is a response to strength. And the fastest way to kill that response is to speak in a way that signals you don't believe in your own. When you confess your neediness, overshare your insecurities, or place her on a pedestal, you are not being vulnerable. You are communicating that you are not enough. And the second you give off that energy, she instinctively checks out. This is not about being fake. It is about being aware. Every time you speak, you are either building your value or diminishing it. So if you have said any of the things we've discussed today, do not waste a moment on shame. That is a useless passion. Instead, wake up, adjust, grow. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being sharp, self-aware, and grounded in your worth as a man. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one thing you have said in the past that you now realize was a mistake? Drop it in the comments below. This is a space for honest reflection among men who want to get better. If this guide has sharpened your awareness, then like this video and share it with a man who is learning the power of his words. And of course, subscribe to the Stoic Manhood Guide for more principles on building a life of substance. Speak wisely.